record here. I've got a couple of helpers on the call today. I've got Sharon Ghosh, who's hopefully manning the waiting room. Thank you, Sharon. But Andrew Lindsay gave us an address earlier this week. They introduced some amazing changes to our business to facilitate the growth through this difficult period. And we're going to go through some of those changes later. This morning I've got a couple of guests on. We've got the fabulous Cheryl Henson, who's going to be helping out with some of the presentation today. I've got Mark Millier, a new name, who's doing some interesting things in the business, growing, supporting, and we'll be having a chat to him later. And as I say, Sharon is going to be sharing some words of wisdom with us as well. So I'm going to kick off because we talked about the tools for the job. So let me just see if I can bring this up onto the screen here and share this with you. So Andrew Lindsay says the toolbox, whoops, let's go back again. The toolbox is now complete. And what he meant by that was that everything now is in place for us to really, really drive this business forward over the next few months. And it's going to be a few difficult months. Let's not hide away from that. This country is, and the world actually at the moment, is not in the best of places. And often, you know, when challenges arrive, you know, we see the best in people. The best comes out of people. The worst comes out as well. But hopefully we can circle our wagons. We can make sure that we're providing a safe haven for those obviously within the business, within the company, but also helping people on the outside as well and helping the nation. So just having a look here on the right-hand side there, Andrew's just introduced this new offer, bearing in mind that the hardships they're facing at the moment, reducing the registration fee down to £10. And we'll be speaking a bit about that later. The other thing as well is that while we speak, there are things being developed all the time. And I don't know if you remember, we did a session a few months back now, right at the beginning of the previous lockdown, where we looked at List Builder. Well, List Builder being developed. We have a new My Planner in there, which I've had a little sneak preview at, and one or two people are trialing it at the moment. Watch this space because that's going to be available soon. It's going to be able to help you plan your week out, plan your months out ahead. The great news as well about holidays as well. Andrew talked about the fact that after Christmas, January and February time, we're all going to need a holiday. So he's made that easier for us, and we're going to have Cheryl going to be talking about that aspect as well. The thing, though, I think we also need to be getting to grips with, and we cannot ignore this now. It is going to be difficult getting out there in front of people. So this remote tool we've got is being developed so that it runs smoothly, it's efficient, and it allows us to do some really neat supporting activities as well. And I've got Mark Millier, who's going to be sharing what he's been doing with a new remote system. And in the background there, we have our fabulous College of Excellence training. As I say, it's great to have two of those trainers on the call this morning. But there's some amazing stuff in there. And really, you know, as leaders in the business, we should be identifying those, going through those ourselves. You know, don't ever sit around in the day thinking, I don't know what to do. Because if you've got an hour, I'd be taking one of those trainers or going through one of those courses. I had a quick sneak look at the social media course, which is brilliant, absolutely brilliant, with some great advice, and I'll be speaking about that later. And also, as I said, we have a backlog of courses we've done on a Saturday morning. So if you've got new people coming into the business, we've got our stepping stones for success, the 4 stepping stones that we set out that are going to help people grow their business. And one of the key areas there is building the database. You know, who are we contacting over the next few weeks, over the next few months, and then how to get in front of them, how to present to them, and how to launch them fast. We've got the amazing Fast Start plan there in place as well. So very quickly, let's look at the first slide here. The toolbox is now complete. Andrew talked about the holiday of a lifetime. He's given a one-off amnesty. That is because he knows that we're going to need a break, aren't we? So the great news is that anybody, even if they're starting now, can still qualify for one of these holidays of a lifetime, and that is amazing. And as I said, we're going to look at that in a little more detail in a minute. I'm going to ask Cheryl to run through some interesting things relating to how we get points for the holiday. Now, the holidays might not be your motivating factor. Well, whatever is, if you're building your business, getting points and supporting new partners coming into the business, whatever your motivating factor is, we're going to be able to feed that. We're going to be able to support that. So, if that is paying for lessons, if that's paying for, items that your family needs or experiences your family needs, you're going to be able to achieve those too. So I'm just going to see if I can find Cheryl a second. If I can bring Cheryl Henson in, I'm going to ask to unmute her. Good morning, Cheryl.
Good morning, Derek, and good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Now, I'll let you just sneak in. I called Cheryl last night and said, Cheryl, are you busy tomorrow morning? And she said, there was a silence because she was just removing the glass of wine from her lips. You just cracked a new bottle, and and there were some weird noises coming from your house yesterday, Cheryl. You've got a new addition to the family, haven't you?
Yes, our lovely, not so puppy anymore, our lovely little mini Dachshund, Fredo, who's brought a huge amount of joy to the home, and it's been an absolute pleasure to have during this lockdown period. Yes.
I thought it was Tim actually making all those noises, but it was Fredo. Right. So moving on, Cheryl, what I'd like to do now, Cheryl is a company trainer. She's a group leader in the business and a serial holiday winner. You guys love your holidays, and I don't think there's one you've never been on. What was your reaction when Andrew announced this, Cheryl?
I thought it was amazing, very generous, sensible. I think it's going to re-engage a lot of people, and also gives us another one of those tools that you've mentioned to get out there and help other people. There are going to be a lot of people that have not only had holidays cancelled, but maybe won't be able to use that money for another holiday further down the line due to financial situations that many people are in at the moment. So I think it's a great recruitment tool, and that's what I'm going to focus on today. We're sharing with you how we can use that as a great recruiting tool.
Just see if I can bring that in, Cheryl. So there is the slide there. There's a lot of information on there. Just wondered if you could just talk us through that, because we look at the mountain and think, oh crumbs, that is, I'll never get that. I never get 192 points. But breaking it down is key, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Planning for this is going to be absolutely crucial, not just for you, but for your team members, and that's current team members and any new team members. It does look complicated, and I'm going to be honest with you, this is a perfect plan. Now, we know not many plans don't actually run in a perfect way, but if we show you the best way, we can also make this easier by doing a little bit more than what it says on here. So I'm going to say this is the perfect plan, but we can make it easier. And yes, it may not go quite to plan, but let's just look at how easy we can make this if we put our mind to it. So if we recruit and mentor one person, this is how this can work. We introduce a Daffy, and that can earn us 4 points. Now, bear in mind, if we get them to take extra sims, that can be up to 7 points, but we're doing it based on a normal Daffy just taking 1. So there are some extras available here. If they become a partner and they complete their Fast Start plan with you, which is absolutely crucial in getting every new recruit off to a flying start, please refer to the Fast Start training on the portal. It is amazing. It's absolutely fantastic. And the other tip I'd say there, if you haven't run through the new Fast Start plan with yourself and your current team members, please put that on your to-do list, because it really is reigniting so many team members at the moment. But if we support that one new team member, and we help them gather 6 Daffy goals in 45 days, those 6 Daffies will earn us 4 matching points, and it will also earn that new recruit 24 points for each, in total. So 6 Daffies is 24 points. And with the new change that Andrew brought in, we're now going to earn 6 bonus points for helping them to get 6 staffies or 6 customers within their 45 days. And we've done it on the best case scenario that their first 6 are daffies. But don't forget, we can support them up to 10 customers in their 45 days. Now, we've just said that if we get them 6 staffies, that's 24 points. Sorry, yes, 6 that we get matching points on now. Sorry, take that 10 out. 6 daffies, 24 points, and the 6 bonus points takes us up to 34 points in total for that one new recruit in 45 days.
That's
now,
amazing. So 34 points, Cheryl, you can be by just helping someone to 6.
Yeah. Sorry, brought that 10 in there again. Sorry, forgot about that again.
34 points. I mean, I'm looking at that thinking, crumbs, if I was just focusing on customer for myself, that would take so much longer.
Absolutely.
So we're going to get there by helping people.
And don't forget, there is payment available for this as well when we help our new team members get those homeowner daffies. So the company are going to pay us to support those new recruits as well. So those extra 4 points that go on top is for you signing them up as a customer first, okay? And then we get 30 points for actually supporting them get their 6 daffies and the 6 bonus points. That's how we've broken it down. Just seen some of those questions popping up there. So how many of these do we need to do? I think we need to do 6 of these in the next 6 months in order to qualify for that holiday of a lifetime. That's a minimum of 6. So we're basing this on a minimum. Don't forget, we can get some extra points for added SIM cards, up to 7 per customer. That's matching as well. So you can do the maths on that, but we haven't added that in because not everybody takes the added SIMs. But don't forget, you're also going to gather your own customers throughout that as well as that one that you will get the points for signing up a customer and a partner. You're going to throw in the odd, the other customers as well throughout that 6 months time. So, there's a great opportunity here for every one of us to be on one of those holidays. All you need to do is decide which one you're going for. Mexico, family of 4, Budapest, Maldives, family of 2, and that Kilimanjaro and Zanzibar one. Which one are you going to go for? And I think that's the important question you need to be asking all of your team members and those new recruits.
So in terms of getting a plan in place, Cheryl, what sort of things do you do as a family to sort of to get an active plan in place? And I know the girls are involved in this as well, and Tim, all of you work together on this. What sort of things do you do?
So we use the sticker chart, and now you can download it from the partner portal. And I'm sure if you gave head office a call, they may be able to send one out with the stickers, but you can certainly download the tracker from the partner portal. And I would encourage all of to encourage your team members as well to download the tracker. Definitely get the kids involved. Definitely share your goals with your family and with your team members. Upline, crossline, support buddies. Make sure you share your goals with them. And I'll let you into a little secret. On the last day, on the 30th of September this month, we've had a good few months and we've had a not so good few months over the last 6 months. And we were trying to get the last 3 points that we needed to make sure that we had the minimum 64 points. This was prior to the announcements that evening from Andrew to say that we didn't really need that. But we needed 3 and we weren't going to give up. We've done quite a bit of work over the last couple of weeks with team members and with our own personal activity. Now, on that last day, prior to that leadership call, we managed to bag 13 points that day. And that was a great day for us. But it just goes to show with hard work and determination, you can set your minimum wherever you want, but we need to be going for a little bit more than that to make sure that we do qualify. My other top tip would be make sure we get these points in early. Don't wait till the last day of the month. Just so happened that's where our activity fell. Appointments got cancelled, they got moved. These things happen, but we need to make sure we've got that protection in place like we did. We had 4 opportunities on that last day to make sure we got those 3 points and we managed to get more. So my top tip is get those points in early, get those trackers and share your goals. The
interesting thing, Cheryl, when you look at this, okay, we have Budapest up for grabs as well, and Budapest literally is a couple of qualified distributors, isn't it, with 6 customers. You could actually do Budapest by just helping 2 new partners join and get them to 6. And you're on the route then to the bigger holiday. So a little stepping stone in between. Go for the Budapest, as a little stepping stone, as a little marker, and then you can launch yourself to the big one for the end of March.
Absolutely. If 192 is too much for us, yes, we do need to be realistic and accept if 64 is doable easily, without the added, if it does bring stress and too much activity to get the 192, let's at least go with Budapest. 64 points over the 6 months is a pretty easy-ish target for most of us. But we do need to plan it. We do need to make sure that we write it down. Goals written down are the ones that do tend to be the ones that get ticked off.
Fantastic. And I've got a top tip actually, Cheryl, for some of the ones looking at this thinking, oh my God, I cannot even think about doing that. I'm one of these 80%ers. I'll put my head in my shell, and when it's all over, I'll stick my white flag out and ask if it's all over. Well, if you're one of those, you need to get this book here, The Consistency Chain. Read it through, set a little target for yourself, ignore the rest, just get to work on it. And if it's a business related target as well, you'll surprise yourself, definitely surprise yourself. And the other thing is, Cheryl, as well, for new people starting, I mean, this is crazy, but with the holiday and by going for this as well, it's a nice little Christmas bonus for them.
Oh, do you know what? It gets ridiculous, because if you go for the holiday incentive, you hit everything along the way. You're going to hit your next promotion. It could be FTL, it could be TL, you could be going for a higher promotion, but you're going to get that Christmas dinner all bought and delivered for you. But we also need to share that with our new recruits. Would you like your Christmas dinner paid for? Would you like a free Christmas hamper delivered to your door, Fortnum & Masons? Would you like £300 worth of shopping vouchers to make sure Christmas is either paid for or contributed to? It's ridiculous. You go for one and you get the rest. Could be also going for your Mini or the Porsche. So we need to make sure we've got these goals written down, guys. You go for one, and pick the ones that that you can go for, but please stretch yourselves. Don't think this is impossible. We just need to make sure that we know what we need to do, follow the system, and bring in some really good people. Let's be creative. Let's think about where we're going to look for people that are looking. We probably all know people that know people, and it's about connections. It's about, sharing this great opportunity with people, being positive, having the belief in what we have. And if you haven't quite got that yet because you're new in the business or you've had some stumbles, borrow it from some other people, because this business really is absolutely magic. It's life-changing, and it really can be what anybody wants it to be. Brilliant.
Cheryl, that's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that with us. And I just can't get the teacher out of me, but if I've already got 40 points towards the holiday, just take it off that 192, work out then again what your new points plan is. And I reiterate this again and again, break it down, know what you need to do, and then just get to work. And Andrew, as he said, now we've got the tools to get the job done. Thank you very much, Cheryl, for sharing that with us. If you've got any comments and things, pop them into the chat. And maybe Cheryl or Sharon, if you can keep an eye on the chat there for me. And if there's any pending questions coming up, you might let
Derek, could I ask everybody to pop in the chat which holiday people are going to go for if you're going for one? Pop it in the chat. Let us know which one you're going to go for. And if you've got a family member that that you would like to take with you, what a great opportunity that is for them. Mexico for us, and we will be there. So if anybody's going for Mexico, we'll see you on the beach.
Fantastic. Brilliant. And looking, the next thing I just want to run through here is, Andrew has bought this new £10 registration fee in, and to launch your business, that's all it costs. If you're a customer, the £10 registration fee is all you need to shell out now to get your business going. Now, I don't know about you if you're a business owner, and you might like to pop that into the chat as well, but how much did it cost to get your own business going, not your UW one, but whatever you do for work? How much did you invest to get that going? Because the way this has changed now is that we now just pay, we've always paid this after year one, but I love the idea now that this is a small monthly £3 license fee, and for that we've identified what you're actually getting. Because people often say, what am I paying this for? Why do I have to pay for this? Well, you know, a business like ours, there are fees to pay. There are license fees to pay. And I've listed a couple there that you get for your £3 a month. Access to unlimited online and classroom training. And this is world-class training. It's not just hacked together. This is really, really top quality training. And that's unlimited for £3 a month. But it's not, doesn't stop there. You're going to get, we often get lots of top tips and stuff put out onto the portal. A lot of work goes into getting those ready for you. You're going to get a dedicated and personalised UK website. I pay £15 a month for a website that I have, which is a private website. £15. This is £3 a month for a business website and an app that they run as well. You've got your email address. I mean, we know if a person wants to keep their BT email, they're paying £5 a month, I think, isn't it, or even more? You might be able to correct me on that. You get all your marketing materials as well, and the important thing is you've got your regulatory licensing and your public liability insurance. Go and find out what it costs to get public liability insurance for a business like ours and pay that independently. I'll tell you now, it's more than £3 a month. So it's a fantastic value. And then you look at the upside. So you've invested £10, you're paying a £3 a month fee to run your business. That is it. We've got, you know, I'm just chatting to someone the other day who ran a mobile hairdressing business. So they've got their vehicle, they've got the kit, they've got everything they need to invest in that. You're talking about thousands of pounds. So a really, really economical way of running a business. But look at the upside. Okay, you bring in one quality customer in the month, you've got £250. And as Cheryl has just gone through there, you know, the benefits, you know, the hampers, the Christmas dinner, the holidays, everything that they throw in as well. And the bottom one there on the right there, that growing residual income. You know, whatever we do and however we grow our businesses over the next 5, 10 years, we've got this residual income. And I love that graph there at the bottom, because I always say, this isn't a job, this is a business. This, what we have in our hands, is opposite to a job. And you only got to look at that graph and you see what I mean by being opposite to having a job. So, you know, we've got all of that. And I think we need to add this value when we're talking to people, because it's so easy to be flinging out these £10 vouchers saying, you know, set up a business for £10, which is why I want to just concentrate a little bit on the next slide here, because there is a temptation. You know, I worked in a primary school, and a new announcement, the kids are all excited and everyone's screaming and shouting and jumping up and down. Please, please encourage your teams. Do not go posting this £10 offer thing all across social media. It devalues the business. It devalues what we have. This is about removing barriers, not adding barriers, because ultimately, you know, if we've got 40,000 registered distributors, I don't think they're all active, but imagine if all of those posted on Facebook groups, you know, £10 business, fantastic upside to it. You know, it's people are going to get bored, people are going to get annoyed, and it's going to switch them off. It's going to actually introduce barriers. So the one thing I will say is, if you haven't seen the social media training on our portal, it's brilliant. It's fantastic, and it deals with the whole aspect of how to use social media, being social, and that is the key point. So just looking about being social here, social media, what should we be doing on social media? Well, making connections. That's what it's about. Liking posts that people up, connecting with people. I often will comment on, you know, if someone's got a birthday, I will comment, have a fabulous day. What have you got planned? Initiate conversations, take an interest. That's the key bit. And comment on posts. You know, if someone's put something up there that is exciting or they're proud about something, make them feel good. Respond to the post. Add value to what they've put up there. Being complimentary. That's going to get people to like you and what you're about, rather than you diving in there and telling them what you've got to offer them. And, you know, try and see if you can generate a no gender conversation. You know, if they've got a problem or whatever, get involved, have a chat, maybe offer some advice. And then when you are listening, and when I mean listening, reading, understanding, finding out about them, you can then maybe use Messenger to offer a solution. You know, I might be able to help you with that. And that's where we take it off social media and into a connection. And the beauty of things like Messenger is that you just press the button above the message and you're actually on the phone to people. You can actually speak to people and do a video call, but you can't do a video call straight away. You have to build that up. It's like I think it was Tom Barrett talked about, you know, different exposures, the hot plate, you know, from lukewarm to warm to hot to boiling. And that's when we can then come in with our solution. So, talking about making connections, I've got Mr. Wise Owl himself on the call, and he's edging so close now to senior group leader, and he will be really cross that I've mentioned that, because he's been trying to get there for a little while, but he is very close now. We've got the fabulous Shoran Ghosh. Good morning, Shoran.
Morning, Derek. Morning, everyone. I'll never get annoyed or cross at you, Derek. Don't worry.
I'm loving it. And hang on a bit. That is a fantastic. You've cheered me up already, Shoran. Look at that shirt.
I've got a shirt for every occasion, Derek, and this is it.
Fantastic. So, Shoran, I mean, what I'd like to have a chat with you about now is some of the key skills in key language that we should be using as part of our toolkit, really. Some of the key skills, I've mentioned a few there, but just wondered if you can just maybe take us through some of these here in your viewpoints on how we go about this.
Absolutely. And it's funny, many of you know my background was a McDonald's manager, and we used to talk about three things as a McDonald's manager when we were delegating tasks, and the three things that we needed to make sure were available were the tools, the time, and the skills. And I think Derek and Cheryl have gone through the tools, and we need to put the time in. And I guess the skills is the third thing that we need to develop. None of us have the skills in network marketing when we start. And I love the info picture here, the graphic there, because it reminds me of having one mouth and two ears. You'll have heard this before, because all of us we're enthusiastic when we start, and we just want to tell everybody what we're doing. And part of what we need to do, and this is a focus on recruiting, I guess, is just listening to where people are up to. And we can ask questions: who, why, what, where, you know the standard questions. And we just need to listen to what people have to say and be interested. Not that we're not interested, but just listen to what people are saying, or dare I say, what they're not saying. And having gone through the first period of COVID, if we want to call it that, we're going to move into a different period where people are, and you've probably seen a lot more honesty with people that you've been talking to anyway. So I think it's going to be relatively easy to figure out how we can help people. And by taking that interest, they will share with you what's going on in their lives. And Derek's already mentioned that hot plates, or we've got listed there the primary motivating reasons. We need to ask the right question to give people the opportunity to speak. Our own favourite subjects are ourselves, so we shouldn't have to worry about that too hard. Jeff Davis, some of you know, has a fabulous program in place, a WhatsApp group where people are making no agenda calls. So part of what we do should be making those no agenda calls. I've touched base with people from school. I don't mind sharing with you guys. I'm 50, so I wasn't at school. I haven't been at school for over 30 years, and we've just been reconnecting with so many people and just chatting with them to find out what their hot plates are. And one of our trainings, and this should be on the portal somewhere, we talk about FORM, FORM. And I think it probably works less well in that structure at the moment, but you'll appreciate the format where the F stands for family. How's the family? I think that's a great question. The O stands for occupation. You know, how are you getting on at work? And that's probably you're going to get a varied answer from that at the moment. The R stands for recreation. Not a lot of us are doing recreation at the moment. Solo walks maybe, or walking the dog. You know, we can ask, you know, what do you do for recreation? And the whole thing is geared around the message. And the message for us is being able to share our business with people. We're gonna talk about that in a second or two. And that message doesn't have to be right now. That could be further down the line, a matter of days or even hours away. So when we're talking to people, we're really trying to find out if our business can meet a shortfall or dare I say, meet their full income expectation if they haven't got a job through furlough, redundancy, or running their own business. But the key thing is it's just listening to what people have to say, because this is going to be a difficult time for so many people moving forward. I have to share with you that the last 6 months will be very different for the next 6 months because of the weather, the nights pulling in, the shorter days. People are going to be affected a little bit more. What's going to happen at Christmas, all that uncertainty. So we can do a lot just by listening to people, and then at some point maybe introducing the opportunity that we might be able to help.
I'm just thinking, Sean, you're part of business networking. You do a lot of business networking as well, and of course now that's gone into sort of Zoom business networking, isn't it? So and often we're arranging one-to-ones, but what you've just said there is so important. You know, with the point where we get someone on a one-to-one and straight away we want to tell them all about us. Your recommendation then really that we should be focusing on them. It's all about them.
Absolutely. If we do our business networking properly, I belong to an international organization that talks about how to have one-to-ones, and the first one-to-one is all about the other person, to find out how we can help them. And there's a phrase, you'll have heard this before, give as gain. If you help that person, they're going to feel indebted to you anyway. So if you're working in the business environment, just see how you can help that person. And one of my business groups, I know we're not specifically talking about business groups here, I was internally moaning. I don't know if you ever do that, ladies and gents. I do it a little bit. And I was thinking, where's, you know, why aren't they working for me? Why aren't they giving me any referrals? And I didn't really think any more about it. I got over, you know, that little pity party. And then I helped a few people in the group, and lo and behold, they helped me. And we got a couple of customers in the last few weeks from those people in the group. So it doesn't all have to be transactional. Most of what we do is relationship building, and people will naturally want to help you if you go out of your way to help them as well. And I learned that very early on. Sometimes I forget, like all of us, but it's a good thing to remember.
And I think another skill, Sean, as well, is being a good connector. So the fact that when you're listening to what they're saying to you, you might not be able to help them, but you might know someone who can. And maybe you can give an example of that, being a good connector, connecting people, and that being that sort of go-to person.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I was just thinking of an example there. I didn't know whether you're going to ask me. So I've got a lady I worked with 15 years ago called Alison, who works in the voluntary sector. And somebody was asking for some advice to get into that sector on a personal development level, coaching level. So I introduced them to Alison, didn't think anything more of it, and they connected. And Alison then phoned me up 2 weeks later and said he's still doing that utilities thing, and she became a double Daffy Gold homeowner. So I didn't go looking for that. I'd written her off as being a customer because we tried over the years and we had touch points and it never was right. And her phone and broadband went live yesterday. So this connector, being the master connector, I think is a great thing. You want to be the go-to person in your area that people go to for things, and the byproduct is they'll come to you regarding utility warehouse things or wanting to earn money. And if your profile is enough that you're sharing with people what you do and not be that secret agent, and at the same time not have an agenda, it will come back to you. And if you just joined us, you might not see this straight away. People used to tell me this, and I thought, oh, you know, it's all right for you. Sometimes, you know, I've known this lady. When I started, I did a quote for her sister, and she never became a customer. 13 years down the line, she's come back to me. So you'll have a flow of people. I wouldn't say it's a quick flow or a steady flow, but it'll come when you need it. For the holidays, like Cheryl was saying, some of these people come back to you just when you maybe need it the most, but when they need you the most as well.
Well, you mentioned not being in school, 30 years since you were in school, sure, and not a lot has changed, okay? But, you know, back in those days, you know, I would give you 3 chickens and then you mended my shoes. You know, it was called the barter system, okay? Do you remember that sort of stuff? Or am I talking a little bit too before your time.
I'd love to have a poke and a bit of fun there, Derek. But no, it's true, isn't it? It was like that in India. My dad's from India, and they used to get paid in. Dad used to look after someone, and my dad wasn't a very good businessman by his own admission. He wouldn't walk away with money. He'd sometimes walk away with never chickens, Derek, by the way, but eggs and dairy stuff. So that's very much how the world worked all those years ago.
Absolutely. Right, Shorin, just talk us through some of the key language then that we can be using.
Well, I think our business is all about the language. I have a background in languages, not that you need one, but I've been very mindful of this over the years. And I think a bit like the consistency chain, where you need one thing that you're focusing on. So if you haven't read that book, read it or listen to one of Derek's earlier recordings. This is all about having your go-to things that you say. So in the 5 levels of formality, there's a great script in there, and it's explaining that you're a recruiter for your company. And when you were doing your intro before, I don't know if you guys are the same. I can't run quick enough to catch some of these DPD drivers, by the way, because they're back in their van, or Amazon drivers back in their cars far too quickly. But we have to have a conversation with people. And one of the quick things we can say is, listen, I'm a recruiter for my company. We're expanding at the moment. I don't know if you're open to looking at something else alongside what you're doing. Could I send you some information just in case it is? And it's about building that relationship. Most people will see us as a job, even though it's a business and it's a multi-level marketing business. So we have to sometimes meet them halfway with their expectation. So this is a conversation starter, one of many. And I do believe we're on the foothills. We're not even on the foothills. We're seeing massive growth already, and we want as many of you to be on that path as well. So by saying you're a recruiter for your company, it's true. We recruit people. You're working for your company, your utility warehouse, or Telecom Plus. So I think that's a great phrase. That might be your go-to phrase if you want to use that, and I think it's great.
And in terms of prejudging, Shorin, there are people now undertaking jobs. I know cabin crew who are actually involved in packing at Tesco's. I know a pilot who are actually involved in deliveries, because that they need income, they need cash coming in, and things aren't available. So, don't prejudge people just because they're delivering to your door, and a very important job as well to keep the economy going. But, we don't know who we're talking to, and we don't know who they know. So something else, another phrase that I know is a favourite of yours.
I love this one because you can teach it. It's in the Fast Start plan script. It could be anything. It's no agenda. It could be, I'm thinking of buying a new car, and we're thinking of having a family, we're thinking of moving. I've just started something that you might want to, you will definitely benefit from if you decide to take it. So this running idea, I've read it in a book. All these things are stolen from books or CDs or downloads or YouTube. It's just a no agenda. It might not, the attitude is, it might not be for you. Let me just run it by you. It's a bit like my mate. I've asked him to join me on a whiskey night on Zoom. I've asked him, I've run it by him, and he's 50-50 on whether he wants to do it. And
the whiskey or meeting you on Zoom.
Well, it can't be face to face now, so we're going to be on Zoom. But the key thing is, he may say yes, he may say no, and we sometimes get attached, don't we, to the answer. We don't care about the answer. We have the posture, and the posture grows with experience in our business, and by getting people saying yes or no, we know what they're going to say. So why get hung up with the decision? It's yes or no. We just get over it and move on. But the key thing about running an idea by them is we're just introducing them to the tool. And the tool, we've talked about the tools before, the presentation will do our job for us. So again, this is my go-to phrase. Let me run an idea past you. There's a great CD, I don't know if I'm allowed to mention it, by Andy Waring about using the phone. Someone will put it in the chat about what the actual title, Make the Phone Your Friend, I think it is. And it's just, listen, it may or may not be for you, only you can decide, but if you can see what I can see, I'm sure you'll be really excited. And obviously I've used that before because it just rolls off the tongue. A bit American-y, I guess. But the key thing is we just need to get in front of people to show them. This one I used to use a lot in the last recession, 2008. Just asking people, maybe a little bit of massaging the ego straight away. You're obviously very successful at what you do, Mr. or Mrs. Bartender or Ms. Bartender. Can I just ask, do you keep your business options open? It's not really giving much away there, is it? They're either going to say yes or no. I'll let you into a secret. Most people haven't got a mentality to change their lives, which is why we have more customers than we have partners. But most people don't realise they can come into business with us as an entrepreneur and fit into the system that we have that will help them to be successful. So this is just an opener to get in front of them. And to get in front of them, we can use 2 words that changed my business in 2009 or 10, I think it was. And when they say yes, because nobody likes to say no, we just simply ask them, how soon can you get in front of a computer or tablet or phone even as a last resort? I want to run something by you. And these are just conversation starters. There we go. I've preempted Derek's script there. Because it's all about getting them in front of the tool, isn't it? It's all about getting them face to face. We used to call it eyeball to eyeball. Is it, I don't know, webcam to webcam? Can we use that? So not as cheesy. Webcam to webcam. No, Cheryl's not liking that one. We won't use that one, Derek. But the key thing is we're just getting in front of people. Yeah. And social distancing and the challenges that we're having ahead, we have to adapt. You know, there are ways to do this. The skills are available. Cheryl's one of our fantastic company trainers. We've got some great trainings to help and support and speak to your support structure, your upline, your sponsor, one of the people who've spoken today. There are ways we can do this business and everybody can be successful.
Brilliant. Sharon, it's always lovely chatting to you. You're a wise old well, a wise owl. I won't say old owl because you know you're still a young lad. But some great info there. Thank you for sharing. And if you want to snapshot that screen, probably a good idea because some great key language there and some key skills that if we can put that into our toolbox, make sure that that's second nature to us. We will have a much stronger business. And teach this to your people, teach this to your teams. This sort of language is key. Now, moving on, I want to bring in something called the magic of remote. And I want to talk about this briefly here. And I've got someone I'm going to bring in. Mark Millier is going to be coming in to have a chat with us now. And if I can find him in the call, I'm going to unmute here. But are all your team members familiar with it? I was chatting to someone who is nearly 200 plus club the other day. And I hadn't heard from him for a little while. And I'd said to him, you know, he was sure he was doing delivery work. And when I spoke to him, he'd said, no, he hadn't run through it. So we've planned to go through this. Never sort of prejudge and think, you know, everyone knows this stuff, because they don't. So the question I ask is, do you need to run practice sessions? You know, the training materials are on the portal, and there's also live training also available via the COE classes that are put on. Book into those. But, you know, take responsibility for your teams, organise these things. And someone who's taken fantastic responsibility for learning this stuff is Mark Millier. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Derek. Good morning, all.
Now, I'm not going to ask the audience to guess where you're from, but
Scotland.
But, tell us your background, Mark. Tell us what you know, what your former background is and where you're based.
Okay, so I'm based in the Rhondda Valleys near Pontypridd. I'd run the business for, well, coming up to 17 years now, working in primary schools, delivering like a PE curriculum. And I also work with like academy children with sort of Cardiff and Swansea as well, one-to-one.
Fantastic. So, you're covering what we call it PPA time.
Yeah.
So that's where they want to release the teacher to go off and do all their planning and preparation.
Yeah.
Those children that they struggle to control in the class, they send them all outside, all these wild little bodies outside to you, and you're left to control them all.
Crowd control, yeah, very difficult.
I smile every single time you tell me that. You do a great job, and you know, the kids need to be outside, don't they? But these cold winter nights are not, winter days are not quite so inviting. But Mark, you got to a situation where when the lockdown kicked in, I mean, they did something which was, you know, a bit of a shock to you. They closed the schools.
Yeah. Well, yeah, obviously I thought it was going to be a couple of weeks. I remember saying, because I employ one coach full time as well. So I said, look, we'll have to ride the storm for maybe 2 months. And obviously we're still in the position where we're still losing a lot of money. So it's been a difficult time, to be honest.
And so you sort of, no one really showed you this system, did they? You know, I mean, you know, you're used to training on the football pitch.
Yeah.
But training, suddenly you thought, I need training on this stuff. Now, before you went live with it, I think you brought in a couple of customers. You joined just before lockdown, and you've done a few face-to-face appointments. You've got a couple of customers in, and then everything changed for you. And just share with us, you know, how you went about that, because not everyone is like you. You know, not everyone is like you. Some people stuck their head in the sand, but you actually thought, how do I get around this? Tell us what you did.
Well, yeah, I joined UW right at the end of January. So, like, obviously they taught me face to face, because I was the only way a company was working. So I signed 2 Daffy customers early doors. I think I had 6 appointments. And then obviously lockdown, we were stuck. I did a lot of personal development in the first couple of weeks. I think everyone was in some kind of shock in lockdown. I then obviously brought the remote sign up, which I'm a little bit old school, if I'm honest. So again, it was probably out of my comfort zone. But I'm in this business for a long term, so I basically had to make it work for me. So I did a couple of practices with my missus first. She was happy. And I also had good advice off, I think on call actually, Kyron and Sam Leake. So we spoke about the remote sign up as well. And if I'm honest, even for me, it was easy. So if anyone is on this call today and haven't done it, or have stuck their head, like you said, in the sand, it's a very easy system to follow.
And you got going on this because you've brought in 3 distributors now. You've helped, I think it's one get 6 Daffies in, one who's got 5 Daffies in. You've got one who's got four Daffies in, or 4 Daffies in. So, you know, in terms of repeating that again, how excited are you about these incentives, the points in what you can actually do in a period where we aren't able to get out there doing door-to-door or winner minis and things?
Well, yeah, it's amazing, to be honest. I mean, for me, whether it's lockdown or not, I'm going to use a remote sign-ups anyway, because I think it works better for me. And the team I brought in, they've only been trained at the minute on the remote sign-ups. So it's working for us. As part of a fast start plan as well, we do a practice on the remote presentation before we actually do a live one as well.
Oh, right. So you don't actually go straight into doing live, you actually get them to do a practice with you. And I suppose that's a great tip for people who are working with their team. Get those practices done. You know, they say, what was it, David Beckham? How many practices did he take a day at taking those free kicks? I mean, it was quite a few, wasn't it?
Yeah, loads, hundreds probably, to score one in the last minute and be an hero.
Absolutely, and we know it was interesting. You said you had 2 Daffies from 6 appointments, so 2 out of 6. You know, I would say 1 out of 4, or maybe 1 out of 5. You know, that's a good ratio, isn't it? So if you could stick to that.
Yeah, I mean, a team we've supported, if I'm honest, like in looking here, Elliot, with me supporting, he's had 6 in 5 weeks out of 8 appointments. Sean had 4 out of 6 appointments, and Natasha is a QD now with 3 customers, and she's had 5 appointments. So at the minute, the ratio is pretty good.
It is. That's amazing stats. And we talk. I mean, the one thing I say about, you know, letting our people go off and do it on their own. You know, those people. I mean, what does Elliot do for a living, Mark?
He works in school as well.
So, you know, that's how they know him. They don't know him as someone who is going to sort out all their essential services, all their sort of connections to the outside world. And the fact that you're on with him means that to people he's shown it to, you're the expert. They're not putting their life in his hands.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's working, and like a big one for me as well as a remote is referrals is the key, because before supporting I went on a run where I done 11 daffies in, what was it, 6 weeks in May into June, and that was off referrals.
Yeah, yeah. So a key area, and we're going to look at this area because I think a few people have asked me the fact that when someone's committed to this, you know, having the skills to actually talk about referrals before we actually even show them the presentation. You know, you were chatting with my son about that, James.
Yeah, James. Yeah.
You know, he was doing well with referrals. Lockdown was a bit of a hindrance to him, but referrals is the key, isn't it, here?
Yeah, and you know, not everyone will give you referrals. You know, you get some will give you excuses. I want to go live first, but obviously working with James has helped me a lot, and I've managed to get more referrals now with the system James uses.
Yeah, so maybe we could look at that in future sessions. So that's brilliant. Well, Mark, keep on doing the practices,
Okay, thank you.
Doing the trainings, and you know, you're edging in on TL already, and you've done all of that in sort of lockdown period, which is amazing. And so even the mature of us can actually learn some new skills and get sort of this the magic of remote going.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, Mark. Thanks for sharing that with us. So just coming on towards the end of the call now, I hope you've picked up some useful tips there. I just wanted to share with you just a screen there, because as I feel, you know, we're going back into another cycle, aren't we? It's going to get a little tougher for us out there. There are going to be a few hurdles and challenges ahead, but let us not fear those. Let's be confident in the system we've got in place. We've got a fantastic toolbox now, as Andrew mentioned before. We've got everything we need in the toolbox. And if you need to sort of some revision, okay, we did the stepping stones at the beginning of the last lockdown. I will make those available in some of the groups, all the sessions we've recorded on a Saturday morning. And you might just want to, if you're doing a team training, is just to take one aspect of that and do a team thing on it, you know, go through the slides with it. And if anyone ever needs any of these slides and things, just let me know, and I'm happy to share the PDF versions of these. But you know, get back in looking at your database again. Go back to those people who you added to the list. You know, that business proposition has changed now, hasn't it? You know, a lot of people may be thinking in lockdown, I can't afford £100, I can't afford £50. That's changed. So we need to be sharing that information with them. There are other benefits as well that have changed as well. So, you know, those sessions are still available. So I'm happy, as I said, to share those. And we can go in confidence now that we have everything in that toolbox we need to move forward. So we are coming to the end of the call now. We've got, if there are certain areas that people really need support in, let us know. We can put something together for you. We can have a look at that, and we can maybe bring some people in who are doing well in those areas. But go forward now with confidence that you have everything that you need. And as Andrew said, now we can certainly get the job done. So we'll see you next week, and enjoy looking at another area that we can provide you with some skills or some belief building, really, because what we have now is simply amazing. No doubt there are going to be challenges, but with challenges come opportunities. So thank you for joining us this morning. Have a brilliant weekend, and let's go away and get this job done and finished. Take care, guys.
Thanks, Harry. A little time and some tenderness.
one for them hood girls, them good girls, straight masterpieces. Styling, wildin', living it up in the city. Got Chuck's on with Saint Laurent, gotta kiss myself, I'm so pretty. I'm too hot. Call the police and the fireman, I'm too hot. Make a dragon wanna retire, man, I'm too hot. Say my name, you know who I am, I'm too hot. Give me your love, I need it. Give me your heart, I'm bleeding. Give me your love, I need it. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Give me your love, need it. Give me your heart.